Today's education system is not working. It is not preparing students for the future. Ken Robinson, through his book, Creative Schools, The Grassroots Revolution That's Transforming Education, agrees with this statement. Robinson explains that the world has changed, but the education system hasn't. The old system needs to change completely. Improving standards are not going to help increase success. The United States has recognized that our system needs to improve and have tried many ideas, none that have worked. One attempt is standardization. Schools across the country began to focus on academic topics such as math, English, science, and social studies instead of group activities, drama, art, music, and other activities. They introduced multiple choice questions and standardized testing, hoping this will motivate students to learn. The students began to more of an independent-based learning style by working by themselves at their desk instead of collaborating with other students. The test scores did not increase, and the education system focused more on teaching to the test instead of teaching students the skills they need in the future. Since the test results are such a big factor in teacher evaluations and school fundings, some schools only pay attention to the students near the cutoff point and hope to pass them slightly. Education is no longer teaching and learning. It is testing and passing. Some tests greatly influence the future of the students who take it, putting a lot of pressure on the student to do well. All this is doing is giving the student anxiety about tests they have to pass and draining their curiosity and creativity in the process. Another attempt to fix the school problem was to create competition between schools. People thought if schools competed against each other, the standards and results would increase. Test scores began to greatly influence funding, staff promotions, and whether or not a school would stay open. This only made schools focus more on getting their students to pass the test rather than actually caring if they retain anything useful. All in all, the main problem is that people are not standardized. Everyone is unique. Not everyone learns the same way, especially by taking tests. Schools are habits and rituals. It does not actually help anyone. Students think they are the problem, but the problem is not how the students are, it's how they are required to learn. Well, how can we change this education crisis in America? According to Ken Robinson's book, we need to make education personal. Teaching everyone the same way doesn't help. Students have natural abilities. We need to personalize education to fit each and every student. We need to carve time out of the day to allow students to find their passions and teach the arts with academics. When kids see that the teacher values what they value in, they will do whatever it takes to not let the teacher down. We need to also engage the students by teaching creatively. We need to change it up and have original ideas so the students are motivated to learn instead of just teaching out of the textbook, giving lectures, and having tests. We need to link industry to education. Students need to know what they are learning is useful in life. We need to relate the information they are learning to things they know on a daily basis. Well, how can we do this? Well, one way is big picture learning, which is learning beyond school. Here, students spend considerable stretches of time working in communities under the guidance of volunteer mentors in real-world situations. Another way is incorporating the flipped classroom. Here, the students do the lectures outside class and then discuss it inside class. Students can learn at their own pace by using programs such as Khan Academy. This encourages learning instead of memorization. Probably the best way, though, to encourage creative learning would be to limit standardized testing and homework, especially in early years of education. These tests only limit creativity and create stress. Children learn through play, but people treat it as a distraction to standardized tests. Preschools have become more school-like instead of play. More homework equals less play. Kids need people and freedom to develop. How do we know this actually works? Well, in Finland, they had a crisis about 40 years ago and completely changed their path and way of doing things. They did not go the standardized path, though. Instead, they encouraged creativity, invested heavily in teachers, and made schools collaborate instead of compete. Now, they are ranked top in the world for education. The main key to a successful education system actually lies in a simple pyramid. First, we need to make sure kids go to school. Many children are living in such poor conditions, coming to school is not even a priority. Then we need to make sure the students feel safe, and then valued. Then finally, set a curriculum for future success that does not emphasize on standardized testing. Our education system is not going to change by simply adding standards and testing. We have to give students what they need to succeed, and that means following this pyramid. Every student has a capacity to learn and be creative. We just need to change the way they are forced to learn.